Welcome to Hooked by Heather, and I'm going to show you how to make these cute little Yip Yips today. Here are a couple that I just did recently. And here are the eyes I used. You can get these on Amazon. There's several different colors. There's pink, there's red. Need a 4mm crochet hook. You'll have to forgive me. This is my very first video of recording a tutorial, so I go off camera here and there. But these are all the supplies you need. I'm going to make a green Yip Yip today. So let me unwind my yarn and then make a slip knot. Then lose my eyes. Pull that nice and tight on your hook. And face the eyes away from you and do a slip stitch to join the yarn onto the eyes. And then make 6 single crochets around the plastic. And you really should weave in your tail. In this tutorial, I just am starting this Yip Yip so that I can jump to one that I completed and then show you how to complete the end of it. So I plan on undoing my yarn anyway, but you'll want to crochet over your yarn tail so that you can snip it off. Now you're going to chain. You can chain 6, you can chain 8, you can chain 10. It all depends on how wide you want your Yip Yip. I'm doing a chain of 8. And then in the front, you connect to the very first crochet, single crochet, I should say. I'm going to count just to make sure I'm on the 6th one and not in that slip stitch. And this is always the tricky one to get your hook into. It's like when you're closing a magic ring, that one stitch gets really tight. So you're going to make a single crochet. And make sure your chain is not behind your eyes. You want to keep it in front and make single crochets in your single crochets that you made initially around the plastic part of the eye. And then once you are done with your single crochets, you're going to single crochet around the chain. And I'm going to do 8 single crochets since I chained 8. So just go around the chain. And try to space your single crochets out a bit so that they cover the chain in its entirety. I think in this video, when I started mine, I had quite a bit of chain still exposed, but you can shift over your single crochets so that it hides it. And that's what I'm doing here, just trying to manipulate the stitches. But then you're just going to make rounds of single crochets around and around and around. You'll do, I would say, 10 to 12 at the most rounds to get the length that you need. So in a minute here, I'm going to show you the Yip Yip that I completed earlier and show you how to connect the ends. When you get to the point where you're ready to stop, you want to make sure you're on an edge, like on the side. You don't want to stop in the middle because you need to slip stitch the bottom together. And if you're in the middle, then your Yip Yip is going to not be shaped properly. So you want to make sure you're probably in this stitch or the next stitch, so that when you fold the Yip Yip in half in the front, all your stitches should line up at the bottom. So let me do a few more stitches here. And again, forgive me for going on and off camera, but you can see how the Yip Yip starts to form. You get the little mouth. I just love these from Sesame Street. They're so cute. So let me jump to the one that I completed after doing 10 or so rows. I have another Yip Yip that is already done. And at the bottom, you just slip stitch your single crochets together so that you get a nice line at the bottom for adding your tassels. And then make sure you pull that last slip stitch tight to secure your yarn. And like I said, you want to single crochet over your yarn tail at the top when you first start your eye, or behind your eyes. That way you can just snip off that yarn tail and be done with it. You don't need to weave it in or anything because it would already be weaved in. So I'm going to snip that off. And then I'm going to not use this yarn tail at the bottom as a tassel. I'm going to weave it in also, because if you use it as a tassel, then it's all on its own and it looks kind of out of place. I mean, you could use it, but I choose not to. And I wouldn't recommend threading your yarn through the base of the Yip Yip. I would recommend doing it through the side. Just go over one stitch and then thread it through again so that the stitch blends in and that your yarn tail is secure. And then just snip it off. So now we're going to do tassels. And you'll want to make tassels 4 inches long so that they're 2 inches in the front, 2 inches in the back, approximately. I just kind of eyeball it. And I'm going to make like 10 because I think there's around 10 stitches here. But just go ahead and make your tassels. So now we're done. Need your yarn, your tassels and your hook again. And we're just going to put the hook through the stitches and try to keep the loop that you pull through kind of loose so that it's easy to pull your yarn through. In my video here, it's not very loose, so it gets a little tricky to pull through, and then you don't want to fray your yarn. So if you fray your yarn, then you'll have to undo the slip stitch and redo it again. And I had that one a little off center. But go ahead and work your way down the line, just making sure you get both stitches and both loops, and then pull your yarn through again for a slip stitch, pull your tails through and pull them taut. As you can see, they're lining up nicely. So just keep working your way down. This is my nemesis, doing tassels. But I'd really appreciate it if you enjoyed this video to like and subscribe to my YouTube page and check out my other videos I have uploaded. This is my very first tutorial, so just looking for some love from the community. And we're all done. And there is a completed Yip Yip. I'm going to snip a couple strands just to make them all even. But there we go. All done. Yip, yip, yip. Nope, nope, nope. Thank you so much.